30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm Danielle, and you're listening to the Flash Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast. Your podcast for all things related to CW's The Flash, starring Ryan Gustin as very own, aka The Flash. I'm your host, Andy B, as always, and we're live on the DCT Podcast YouTube channel and on Facebook. Hope everyone is doing well, who's joining us and watching us, and having a pleasant Thursday night. And joining me as always are my amazing co-hosts, Toddy, Breeze, and Lacy. Toddy and Lacy they're back in their separate bodies. Thank God.
Why don't you like our supersized version?
I know, right?
Like
I was actually like in LA last week too, so we were even in the same state.
That's so crazy. I felt that. I felt that presence.
You did. You felt that power.
Yeah.
You were at Gallifrey Con, right?
Yep. Jodie Whittaker. Woo! First female doctor. Yep. Let's go.
You guys have now breathed the same air. You've been in the same vicinity. That's a big check on the bucket list.
Indeed. She's very adorable.
Breeze, how you doing today?
Good. Trying to stay awake.
Oh, you can do it.
Oh no.
I know you can. But we have a special guest with us because we're kind of doing this like Brave and the Bold system this season. Which, you know what? Why not? I think it's fun. I love it. She's been a good friend of mine for several years. A huge Flash fan, amazing reporter, a fellow amazing podcaster as well. Beyond the Byline, and it's my honor to welcome the Miss Lovely Kemberlie to the Flash Podcast. Kemberlie, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight? Ooh, I'm happy to be here.
Woo! I'm happy to finally have you join us. Yeah, no, it's a lot of people I've always like tried to wanted to get on the podcast, but like because I'm so scatterbrained, like it didn't take until the final season for me to realize, oh yeah, this is probably the best time to do it. So yeah, well, I'm happy to have you join us and to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well, and we're gonna have a great show tonight. And there's no news this week. It's been kind of like the only news, and I mean not to be a Debbie Downer, but like they are filming the series finale as we speak.
Oh, that's not. I mean, I think that's not as sad as it is like completist. You know, I'm like we've come through this journey together, and we're here until the end.
We're here until the end.
Yeah.
Kemberlie, how have you been enjoying the final season so far? I know we're only like 3 weeks in.
It's been cool. Last night's episode, not my favorite, but can't have everything.
Fair enough. We will get into it. Yeah, it's crazy because now it's like we only have 10 episodes left of the final season, and let's see how many times Andy can say final season, or like how many episodes we have left in one episode of this recording. So, but yeah, with no
like
news,
if we were doing shots, we would be in the hospital.
Okay, it's not that bad. It's not. I'm not that.
I mean, not
bad.
yet, but I feel like by the end of the episode.
Well, now I think.
Now it's not. Now it's a new level up.
Eric tortured me with this. Lacy must not torture me with this. It's like this is not fair. Everyone is bullying me. No one I don't like level up. But let's get into this week's episode 3 of season 9, called Rogues of War. And this episode was written by Jess Carson and Jeff Hirsch, with story by Sam Cholson and directed by Brenton Spencer, and Toddy will do the honor of kicking off the A storyline. So
oh no! Yes, I have been tasked. I have been tasked with the A story. We love a former bad guy team up, or do we? And the answer is we do, as long as it doesn't include Chillblaine. So, because Red Death is doing a tour of Central City with her new and improved versions of classic rogue villains, in order to create her very own cosmic treadmill, Barry must answer the call, rise to the occasion of our new nation, and bring together a differently equipped rogues team that includes some fan favorites such as Hartley Rathaway, and then also Goldface and a guy who is a dad, and they're pretty cool. And then for some reason, because he won't leave, Chillblaine. So it's as expected, as a bit of a mess, but we get to see Barry be a leader and have some conflict with a new group of people as they try to figure out the best way to stop Red Death from, I don't know what she's doing, rewriting history, taking over Central City, burning a lot of calories through time and space. We just don't know. But what we do know is that Barry has trouble trusting his villainous teammates, especially when they're basically like, what if I take the cosmic treadmill for myself? Wouldn't that be great? So they have a couple of trust issues, but in the end, they decide to work together when Curse, the sudden inevitable betrayal of the B plot. So in the end, I think I can say this, right? Barry gets his ass kicked by Red Death, who is, surprise, surprise, also a speedster and a fabulous badass lady who, if you listen to Ladies with Gumption, is our Lady with Gumption of the week. Shout out to Red Death. Anyway,
Iris is not your Lady with Gumption this week.
I know, it's so crazy. Like that, some week it's not Iris, but yes, this time it was Red Death.
She was speaking French, cooking food.
That's right.
She made good food.
I made a case for Iris, but I was defeated. So anyway,
I'm hashtag cancel Ladies with Gumption. I'm
at the end of the day, the superior members of the new Rogues team tell Barry that they will answer his call when he has information about Red Death in order to help stop her from doing whatever she is doing. And we thank them for their service. And that's what you missed on Glee.
That's what we call a toddy cab, Kemberlie.
I truly decide who is going to get to do which story based on which one I want to hear Toddy recap.
Thank you. So feelings, thoughts, questions, concerns. Let's start with Kemberlie because you are our guest. Be our guest.
Okay. That kind of blanked out. I really kind of blanked out their parts. Kind of. I just got irritated. I don't know. Kidding me. It was like mad about everything. I was just like, come on. Like, I get you, Miss Frost. But at the same time, like, you're getting on my nerves. Like, he just kept doing extraness. And then, like, Goldface, I could care less. Him and that stupid chain, I was just annoyed. Then him selling out Eminet. I was like, aren't you supposed to be in love with her? But you sold her out so you can get out of jail. So I was just like, okay, all right, I guess. And then I was confused by his story because I felt like it was weird to me. Like, he was just like, oh, I'm gonna want to take it and do something with the money. I was just like, wasn't last week the gauntlets was stolen? So I just thought you would try to get those back instead of trying to get the money. So I guess it was all just kind of, it was okay.
Well, dang. I love that honest reaction. It's all right. I do agree, though. You know, it's not cool to sell out Amunet. Was that just like explaining her absence? I don't know, but that was not cool. Lacy,
I will say, I'm gonna hold it down as the last person who still likes Goldface. I started to say Ghostface, and I was like, different franchise. Different franchise. I choose to believe that him and Amunet will work it out because they go to therapy. So,
Oh,
they're
they're
going to work
sharing
on their
goal?
problems with the one therapist in Central City. They go to therapy. And I don't know. I'm like, we stand a man that reads, and he's out here quoting Edgar Allan Poe.
And crying over
And
Dr. Zhivago.
Like, I can't. Like, how do you not love him? Like, we stand a literary man. I thought this was fun on the whole. Like, it was kind of other than like the sudden and inevitable betrayal of Chillblade, this kind of felt a little bit like a filler episode for me, and that felt a little weird coming in like the third episode of the season slot. Like, they sure are taking their time getting to Red Death, huh?
Yes.
We're going to that real slow, but I thought it was like, I don't know. I do love a rogues team up, and we kind of got two of them a little bit, like ex-rogues and current rogues, and I don't know. I just thought that was fun. It was like a lot of bad guys in an entertaining way instead of how the show sometimes does it, which is like, look at our pointlessly convoluted bad guy plotting, which never really makes any sense. So I would rather just watch them sort of run around in a pack and fight. Although, shoot, I'm trying to remember the name of Murmur. Is it Murmur? The really creepy, like entirely too creepy. We could swap that one out for literally anyone else, and that would be fine.
Wait, who's Murmur? Is that the ragdoll type person?
Yeah, because I thought it was.
I thought it was ragdoll too.
No, it's not ragdoll.
It's not ragdoll. Thank God. Like Arrow Arrow crossed a line. Arrow crossed a line with ragdoll. Like that was just.
I
too
thought
creepy
it
for me.
was supposed to be ragdoll initially, and then realized it wasn't, and I was very relieved because
You didn't
ragdoll
want
is
to see that
horrifying.
creepiness, but yeah,
No,
but
I did
they're
not need
almost
that.
as creepy as ragdoll. Yes,
I mean, they don't like bend themselves over backward into a pretzel. I guess that's
but the mask was pretty creepy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am pro rogue.
Wait, Ragdoll is from Fly. Wait, who was I talking
I have
about?
no idea who you're thinking of.
I was like, oh, okay.
Dollmaker. Never mind, Dollmaker.
Yeah, you're thinking Dollmaker. Yeah, okay.
Because
So-
Ragdoll was like, what, season 4, right? Or season
yeah,
1?
yeah. I think so.
Yeah. That actor he's impressive. Like
Yeah, he was great. He was great, but he was creepy.
It was creepy.
Breeze, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually like this plot because I love a good heist.
Yes.
So, and I like the theme this season of bringing all the rogues together. I'm trying to pull up my notes because I feel like I took like specific things that I liked and wrote them down. I loved when Goldface is like, "How did you get here so fast?" And they're like, "Oh my God, even I have figured it out because he has the same coffee order."
He's literally the only person who didn't know, and now everyone knows.
So I like the rogues versus rogues. I don't have the doc up because my computer is acting up, but so I don't know if we're gonna get to the Chillblade stuff later. But yeah, I think overall the okay, we do have it in the next story. But yeah, I like the team up. I thought it was cool for Barry to get to work with them. I like the chemistry, or I guess sometimes lack thereof, between the rogues.
To your point, though, I really like, how is a man who's out here memorizing Edgar Allan Poe like not figuring out that Barry is the Flash?
Literally, how you have this on a salary? I was like, okay, come on.
I was gonna say we could talk about Chillblade here, then I can take you because I noticed that's because Lacy hates West Allen, that we could talk about. I could talk about West Allen as my B story.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, we can talk about Chillblade
Let's
here.
just talk about Chillblade. I was just trying to come up with something. Like, I don't think my thing I assigned myself is a real plot. It's just because I want to talk about it because I wasn't here last week.
You
corner.
You just don't like West Allen. You always hate Barry and I together. You want Barry and
I
Oliver.
actually hate joy. I hate happiness,
and that's why you love Caitlin, because she can never be happy.
Right, that's true. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, for me, when it came to the rogues, because I saw some people were like talking about this back and forth, calling them they're calling some of them like the discount rogues. And like, here's the thing. In a perfect world, yes, Captain Cold, Heat Wave, Weather Wizard, Trickster, both of them, Golden Glide, and so on, they would be here. But again, Let Us Tomorrow completely ruined Heat Wave. I don't know what Dominic Purcell was playing. That wasn't Heat Wave. And then they kill off Captain Cole in the first season. So great that we spent like half of season 2 of Flash like setting up a spin-off show that would just take a bunch of our characters and then waste them. And now I bet so many fans are gonna see this and be like, "Oh my god, he hated us tomorrow. Cancel him. He's horrible." Even though like I loved it tomorrow, and I wish it hadn't been canceled. So, for anyone who's screen recording this and editing out this part of the context, gotcha. But I will say this: I'm always getting into fights with people. I need to stop that. But what I will say is that I love Harley Raffaway. I've always loved Pied Piper, so I'm glad he came back. Goldface, like, here's the thing. We have to remember the Flash has one of the most colorful rogues galleries in DC Comics. Like they have, like, for God's sake, like he battles people like Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang, Weather Wizard, Golden Glider, Mirror Master. It's like, like it's supposed to be a little cheeky, a little funny stuff. So like seeing someone like Goldface back, which again I love Damien Poitier. He's so, and again the fact that he's fancy. This Goldface, he's fancy. I think he's funny as hell. And I was devastated to hear that he, Aminet Black, aka Amy Whammy, had broken up. I was like, how could they do this to me? This is like one of the off-screen ships I love the most. Hopefully, by the series finale, they will be married, and you know what? They're probably gonna get married before Joe Cecile does it.
Double wedding, y'all. We've done it
Wow.
before. We can do it again.
Hey, Lacy, how do you feel about double weddings? Lacy, how do you feel about double weddings?
No one liked it. The end. Even the people who liked all the couples involved.
Never again.
Yeah, exactly. Never again. But what I will say is that I love the fact that we could have any rogues come back for this final season, and have because the thing is, like, I like all those actors, so it's because I love Max Adler from Glee, and Damien, he's always been amazing, and this Harley Raffaway, for animators, you can't. I think this episode made a good case for why animators should have been part of the show a long time ago, and like maybe even become part of Team Flash a long time ago. I just find it because for people who don't know, when they were casting for the Flash pilot, Harley was initially going to be like a recurring character. He was going to be on the team. He was going to be like, like they were gonna, he was going to be part of it for a much bigger time. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know, maybe CW's, like case of homophobia kicked in or something. I don't know. But what I will say is this episode made a good case where like we should have had much more of Harley in previous seasons, and because he's so damn enjoyable. And Murmur, like again, I remember when we started trading for season 9, I remember like we're actually getting the real Murmur, because we had one on Arrow, but they just had their lip stitch. They had the creepy mask and so on from the comic. And actually, people don't know, in the comics, Murmur is a male. So they did a cool thing on kind of gender bend a little bit so it wasn't just a big sausage fest throughout the whole episode. So for me, I really enjoyed the Rogues War, because and like I will take what I can get, and at least I think it was enjoyable. So I'm hoping that we can see a little bit more of them in these last 2 episodes. Because next week is the beginning of the 2-part finale of the Red Death storyline called The Mask of the Red Death, which I feel like is supposed to be a reference to like some play, or like the Mask of Red.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, it's the story that Goldface quotes.
Oh. See, I'm not smart like that. So
we love a man that reads.
I do have books. I have books. I promise. It's just comic books, though. Like right here.
It's not. It's a short story. It's not really long. It's not very long.
I wonder if it's available digitally somewhere.
I'm sure it
It probably is. You can share it.
But I loved the Rogue's action. Again, yeah, like Chillblaine betraying them. I'm like, he's missing Frost. He's very sad. He's very hurt. And again, I have to like keep reminding myself that this is someone who's still mourning because again, like because technically in their timeline, this is only a couple of weeks after like Frost's death or whatever. So on. Again, I felt they should like because again, if this had been if he had done something like this 6 months later, it would have been completely out of character. But because he's so emotional right now, he's grieving. I can't understand it. But yeah, Shadowblade was like it sucks because like he's come such a long way, and now he's like that beautiful that hot body is just becoming evil, and I just like. What am I gonna do? I love that Murmur like called him out, like, do you have anything? Do you have something against T-shirts? Because yeah, like, how do you just like listen? Like, I mean, I already hate my body as is, but like when I just see him, like, I'm like, that also looks cold. Like, are you not freezing over there? So, but yeah, I enjoyed the Rogue story, and like it wouldn't have felt accurate if one of them didn't betray the other. But I'm glad it wasn't like Harley or Jacko or Goldface because like I'm actually enjoying joining them, especially Goldface because like again like when he's like book club is a safe space and I'm like I know one of my co-hosts are gonna be like I thought actually Lacy was gonna be because Lacy has this thread on Twitter with all the books she's reading for 2023. So I'm like, oh, I bet they would be good friends.
Like I said, we love them. We love men that read.
Yeah. Who's next? Who hasn't spoken about Atari? What are your thoughts on the Rogues and the Chillblaine of it all? Oh, you're there. Good.
Yeah, I was waylaid by work because work happens at 24 hours a day. So anyway, I loved it. I had a good time with the Rogues, except for Chillblaine, who is his own category of failure. But yeah, Goldface, I did enjoy, even though very very disrespectful of him to not be loyal to his woman. But I liked the running joke of it, like missing her, even though he's the one that betrayed her, and also the poetry, or not poetry, but the literary mind that he has. That was all enjoyable. Love Daddy Jacko knowing that Barry is the Flash because they have the same coffee order. Why is the Flash getting coffee orders? Does he not have an assistant to do that for him? Whatever. But I had a good time with that as well.
Wait, I did not think about this. Does he just roll into jitters like in the Flash costume?
Exactly.
And,
he probably like flashed in and like threw his money and flashed out. Unless he made it. I don't know. It's
I was
weird.
gonna say
Maybe
he
did
should
a
always
mobile
get the
order.
coffee orders because he's the fastest. So why would you send someone else from the lab? Just get Barry to go get it.
Yeah, he would just go get him.
I mean, maybe he sends the seal to do it because what is the seal doing these days?
That's leveling up.
It's leveling up.
You both are on a timeout.
Oh no, you really didn't get them. No.
Don't say leveling up.
And I have to do a shout out to my boy. I really love Pied Piper. I love Harley Rothaway. Love getting more of him. Would not ever turn that down. So that was all good. All that was good. I just I actually thought like, oh, I'm glad we're moving the plot forward some because I expected it to be even slower. I feel like in other seasons they've been even slower. So this time I was like, oh, okay, hey, cool. We know who the Red Death is in episode 3, and we've had our first little encounter or whatever. But I do agree that they could go more in depth. Like I just feel it would be more interesting if we had known it was, and we knew, like off screen we knew, but it would be more cool if we knew on screen that Ryan was Red Death, and we have to work our way to like why that happened or whatever, instead of like wait 3 episodes, find out it's her, and then we'll probably end up get like a speech about it.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask how many episodes do we know? Do we know what? Let me put the question part first. Do we know how many episodes like the Red Death story is gonna be? Is like the
2 more.
Oh, see, like I feel like yeah, Toddy's right as per usual, but we should definitely, I think, at this point have had a little more like the fact that she only takes the mask off at the end of this episode and is like that feels weak to me. Like if we only have 5 episodes to tell the story, like we should be into that already, you know?
But the here's the thing, I feel
Because then what is it going to be? Like they're going to have like 2 fights and it's done.
Kemberlie, you go if you want to.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, especially I thought that they could have had episode 3 be like her backstory, like how she became Rev Deaf and then the recruitment process a little bit. But to have it like episode 3 and then we're only 2 episodes out for them to like finish it up, yeah, it could have been more depth into it.
Yeah, I have to. This is how I look at it. I think because I think you can. There's still a lot. Like 2 episodes is still like, in my personal opinion, I feel that that's still like you can do a lot with 2 episodes, and like I think there's a lot they can still establish, and then like because this wasn't really a fight. This was kind of just like like a hello, a very vicious, very violent hello, but like from Red Dead this week. But I think next week, like we're gonna get a lot closer to why Red Dead is the way she is, and then in episode 5, I think that's gonna be like the showdown. How do we stop her or whatever. So for me, like I don't know. I don't mind it. I will say this, and I mean I think Lacy will strangle me for saying this. If we didn't have a certain Miss Snow having transformed herself from last season, we wouldn't have had to spend episode 2 wasted
Look,
on.
I will get to my thoughts on this in Keown Corner, which is coming up.
I
even spelled it with a K in the corner with a K in the
What
dot.
is it when
Please
you all
clap.
trying to do puns?
Please
Like,
clap.
you guys are going for the bad level up jokes, the bad puns. This is like what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong in my past life? Nope, I'm kidding. But I think I think episode 2 was supposed to have had all of this and have an episode 3 in episode 2, but because we were kind of stuck with the Keown stuff, I think that's why they had to do what they had to do.
I just don't think they made good choices about slimming down from 22 episodes to 13.
Yeah,
Well,
I just don't think they made good choices.
That's not the Flash's decision. That's the CW's decision.
Well, no, it's the CW's decision to give them fewer episodes, but it's the Flash's decision what they do with those episodes.
Yeah,
and
you're saying
I feel like they
Lacy.
didn't adjust the story to the fact that because like honestly that's why I asked how many episodes the Red Death stuff was supposed to be, because this feels like in a normal regular league season this would be fine because there would be 12 episodes of Red Death stuff or 10 episodes of Red Death stuff before we went into the other graphic novel.
Miss
Like,
Bauer.
it would be more than 5.
No, Miss Bauer. All the graphic novels so far, like almost all the graphic novels, has been almost 5 episodes to this point. Armageddon was 5. Deathstorm was 5. The F word.
Well, they have made some poor choices in how to distribute the story amongst these episodes, because that's on the Flash, not on the CW. Like, I get that they thought they were going to have more than 13, but I don't know, like, I feel mean to say it, but it feels like they didn't adjust very much to compensate for the fact that they have, like, 9 fewer episodes.
Yeah. But I mean, and even I think we've even seen this pacing issue in previous seasons with more episodes. You know what I mean? I don't think that this is I don't think it has to do with a shortened season.
Yeah,
I think that it's just the pacing.
Yeah, I think for me, I think there's going to be enough with these 2 episodes that are coming up to get into Red Death and give us a satisfying conclusion. But again, because I would say that this is my favorite episode of the season so far, because again, with all the rogues action, the West Isle of it all, we will get into this soon. Don't worry. And all the Red Death stuff. Like for me, like I feel like this, like for people to say that this is a filler episode, whatever, like no, because things are actually moving forward. Now we know a lot more why the Red Death rogues need all these things because they're building a time machine, and now we know who Red Death is, because it's been kind of hilarious for us who know who's underneath that mask, that we can be like, oh, it's fine. We can now everybody knows the secret that was out for months. This is why they should just never have filmed outside, because this would have been a lot more enjoyable as a surprise. But
Yeah.
where was I going with that? No, what I'm saying is that I feel like we are moving. Some things are moving forward in a very good direction. Because last week I felt things were very stale, or a little, icy. That's a bad joke. I will stop. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's very unfair to call this a filler episode when like we actually went somewhere this week. So that's just
I
I agree that I don't think it was a filler episode. I agree with that.
Tari and I
don't think it
agreeing.
was.
I don't. Tari and I, we haven't
I mean,
agreed on
maybe
anything
maybe
before.
I
filler
agree with
episode
Lacy,
is
to be honest.
Hmm?
Like, I don't know. I
like
was like,
maybe
I agree
filler
with Lacy.
episode is like an unfair label, and maybe there's a different thing to call it. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like there should just have been more Red Death stuff right now, because otherwise, why not just have the Red Death stuff be like a two-parter episode? Why be like, it's the first graphic novel when like literally it happens in the background for like 3 episodes? I don't know. It's just
I
annoying,
agree.
'cause
I agree
thought
with
there would be
both
more.
of you. Yes,
Thanks,
I also
Mom.
like the fact that there's only 2 episodes left does make it feel a little bit like, wait, so we're not just getting started, we're actually almost done, because this definitely feels like 3 episodes of a full season, or even a 13 episode arc. You know what I mean? The fact there's only a 5 episode arc, that is a bit weird. You're definitely not going to do justice to Red Death. You're not going to really get into the backstory or to like the interesting motivations. You're not going to really build up to the terror of what she can do, etc. So, it is what it is. But in terms of an episode that moves the plot forward just on its own without considering what comes before, what comes after, I thought that it did the job. So there you go.
Let's look what the chat is saying. We have a lot of comments. Mind the Gap asks, are these rogues sticking around the next few episodes? Well, the episode description for episode 4 mentions the Rogue Squad coming back. So we're definitely not done with them. Hi, Kiara, good to see you. Says, we're already around 30% finished with the season. They need to get the ball rolling. Fair enough. Liv says, Godspeed was not was not paced well at all. Yeah, Godspeed, I can understand what a lot of people had issues with that. Let's see. Mad says, in a normal season, I think taking a few episodes to do the reveal wouldn't be bad, but knowing the short season and the Red Dead sort of end in 2 episodes, you feel like we should have gotten there sooner.
Yes, Mad's correct.
Yeah. And I wonder if, like, by the time they found out that this was going to be the final season, I wonder if, like, again, that's when I wonder if they learned how many episodes they were getting the same time as they learned this was the final season, and they maybe have already broken a few of the story, and they were like, "Crap, what do we, what do we do now?"
I think that's exactly what happened, right? Like they thought with the Keon stuff they would have more time.
Yeah.
So actually, I feel very bad. I feel bad for Flash crew because I think the season has been pretty good so far, but I can tell that it's like, I think CW, again, the CW throwing them under the bus and messing things up. I mean, that doesn't shock me at all, because Next Star is they're quite something. So shall we talk about a little West Allen? There's some West Allen corner. So this is so funny because when I was watching the screener and after the opening credits, I wasn't sure what the hell was going on. I was like, why is my computer playing a commercial for like something French? And then when they pan over to the campus in Grant, I'm like, oh, they're in Paris. And I felt like such an idiot because I'm like, hello, I'm watching the flight. Like, why are we? What happened? So we see them, still baby mooning, which is so adorable, and we hear Miss Candace Patton rolling out that French. I didn't know she could speak French, so she was like, "Voilà, blah blue," and I was like,
"Yeah, that's exactly."
Did you speak it before?
Yeah, I didn't know she could do this. I'm like, she's a woman of many talents and also many amazing looks in this episode. But we see, Bear and I, we get to see them investigate together. We get to see them also having some heart to heart about, Iris feeling, a little anxious about she knowing like I want to try and break this one major final story before I become pregnant, and we see them figure out together what's going on. So, Kemberlie, I know you're a huge West Island fan because I know you have great standard in ships, like myself. So, how was it seeing Barry and Iris going through this episode? Were you also like just gleeing when they were like, oh my god, they're in Paris and they're cooking food, and Iris actually made good food for once, because we know she can't always cook.
Yeah, it's really interesting, especially when the cook went around to like each of everybody and was like critiquing it, and then they came to them and he was like, "Yeah, we did it like 50 times in the flash time," but she doesn't know that. So I was just like, it was so cute, and then like high-fiving, and then like she actually talking and speaking to Barry about like how she's feeling about why she want to break this story, and making them like talk, like have that communication, which I always think is like excellent with them, because that's what makes their relationship to me like one of the best out of these television shows that we see, just because they communicate, and like he supports her and they support each other. Like he was like, I want to give you everything you want, and he was like, the same for you. So I just, in those moments, I'm glad we're getting this season of them just like being each other's, I guess, like person that they need right now, and that helps them kind of like flow the story along of them. Like, it's interesting what's going to happen, like what happens with them, like as they venture off and go to something else. So I don't know how that's going to end though.
Toddy, how do you feel?
Yes.
How your feels about the West Island this week?
I thought it was very cute. I of course loved the little Paris opening, and that they had to try 40 attempts in flash time to get the perfect recipe. But to be fair, the the teacher was very harsh. So how else were they gonna do it? That was very adorable. And I was a little concerned, I saw Iris's expression be less than enthusiastic, and I was like, oh no, what's happening? But I'm glad that they resolved it, and that they had a really open and honest conversation about her fears of what might happen, when motherhood does kind of take over your life. And it was very cute that Barry was like, no, don't worry, I will change time to make sure that you get all the Pulitzers that you need. So change time and diapers. And
maybe even 3.
very, very sweet. Yes, maybe even 3 Pulitzers. So yeah, I really liked that aspect of it, and the little like side story of Iris pushing Chester too hard because she was concerned about getting that story right, like against her own deadline, and then Chester also being like, "No, you pushed me just the right amount. It's cool. Now I know what we all knew." But anyway, so yeah, overall liked it. Very cute. There wasn't like all that much of it, but this is exactly what they've always needed to do, which is put Iris in the main storyline and let those two things dovetail. Like, you don't have to have Iris and Barry just attached to the hip every single scene in order to make their relationship and their respective roles in the story count. So this is the way to do it. This is the way it should have always been. So yay.
Exactly what Toddy just said there at the end. That's so true. Because it's so like, it's so much more natural.
Well, Lacy, how did since to our number one West Island hater on the podcast, because she didn't even put in the document to any listener, just said they don't go attack her on Twitter. Like, I'm just kidding. She loves West Island. I'm just kidding. It's just I thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny that she did neither me, Breeze, or Lacy got the West Island story in the document. So that's what I'm just saying. Oh, I'm just gonna.
Well, I don't know. I never know how to put our stupid storylines in there anyway, because, like, what even is an A or a B storyline anymore? I don't know. Did West Island have a story this episode? I mean, I guess they did sort of, but, like, not quite on the level of, like, the rogue heist. I don't know. I would like to go to Paris and eat French food, and that is where I'm at with that. As somebody who also is not a particularly like skilled cook, I would be terrified of taking one of those classes without the aid of superpowers. So
Breeze,
I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them for using the flash time.
Yeah, I'm glad we got some good West Island development. I love the Baby Moon stuff. Can't wait to see all the fan fiction that comes out of that. We just need a whole episode for Baby Moon fanfic. I think it can be a little annoying that Barry is always the oh, I'm gonna make time for you and like be the most supportive husband, and Iris has to be the realist. Like, it's not always that easy. It's easier said than done. So I still feel like, they're not 100% on the same page, but I'm glad that Barry's supportive of her. And hopefully we do see that first Pulitzer Prize winning story by the end of this season.
Yeah, I'm glad we're seeing so much them together this season. Getting like you're just the high fiving, the cooking, and just again, it was funny. Like when I watched the screen, I had to pause so I could go read what was saying on the list. And I'm like, Big Ben. They went to the Big Ben. I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been so cute. So yeah, I did love the fact that Iris.
Wait, what else did it say on the list? Does anyone know? Like, I didn't pause it because I am lame.
I probably could look it up on Twitter. They probably screenshot the whole thing.
Yeah,
listen.
Somebody's already like broken that down.
Listen, West Island fans are the best fan because we know they're down to business. They know I know at least 10 accounts that have screenshot it. So let's see. I'm trying to find it because I have the list in front of me. Okay, pizza from free from free countries in Europe, camping under the Northern Lights, sunset cruise of Kauai. Kuwait.
I think they said Kauai on the episode. Like,
I think they did too.
Watch visiting Big Ben at midnight. Is there something special that happens at midnight when Big Ben hits 12 o'clock?
I mean, it bongs. I think the bell rings.
But doesn't it bong like at every at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? I don't
know. Maybe it goes 12 times. I don't know. Or wouldn't that be noon though? I don't
know. Cooking class in France, which they did, and then something about a tree at the bottom of the list, that I can't see the rest. But there was a lot of again. The top of the list says Barry plus Iris baby moon, and I'm like, that's so cute. I love it. I hope there's fanfiction coming out of this, or if someone wants to draw Bear and Iris at the top of Big Ben or something like that, I think that would be very beautiful. But I love that there was also just like having Iris as part of the main story. It just goes to prove all the haters out there always say, "Oh, the show is forcing in Iris into the story." Like, no. Because of her job, it makes sense for her to she had literally written a story on Murmur. That's why it made sense that she was there on the investigation scene. And while Barry was assembling the rogue, she was giving everyone assignment on Team Flash what to do, except Cecile. Because Cecile, Queen, you gotta go to work at some point. Like baby Jenna isn't gonna make the food herself, is she?
She could be a full-grown person. We don't even know.
We don't know. Again, like I said to Eric 3 seasons ago, just strike her with a lightning bolt and age her up, and then we don't have to worry about it because listen, we know that Breeze she is keeping watch this season. Like, are they feeding her? Is she going to school? Is she getting her allowance? I don't even know if 5-year-olds get allowance at this point. I didn't get mine until I was at least 8. So. But yes, I thought all the West Island stuff was very adorable here, and again, I love the fact that they got to have these moments of just being fun, but also being real, and also being in charge. So there you go. Breeze, are you ready for the C story? Oh, good, well placed, Lacy. Well placed. The C is for what, Breeze?
Chalegra. So Chester is all like, "Hey, that was pretty fun at the club," and Allegra is like, "No, bye."
What club? I've never been to the club.
And then we find out later that Allegra's just having kind of second thought. She really likes him, but she's nervous about him because everyone she cares about dies. And she has a heart-to-heart with Keon. And then I don't think they resolve it on the episode, right? I actually don't remember because I didn't think this would even rise to a C plot level on our document. But yeah, so there's just some Chalegra drama, which of course, because they kissed already, now Eric's got to throw in that drama for us. So once
Kemberlie, you want to start?
Kemberlie just sighed, so I'll let her go
Oh.
first on the Chalegra.
Honestly, I was just like, kind of like, why she keep avoiding him? I get it at the same time, but like, y'all was just dancing at the club, and then all of a sudden now it's awkward again, and then I was just like, okay. It was interesting to hear though, like how he like really liked, but like she's just scared and all that stuff. But hopefully they do have a conversation soon because Chester being ready, but like she's ready.
Lacy, what did you think about Chalegra and Keone's daffodil metaphor?
Oh, I am on record as being a Chalegra supporter, but I feel like we spent so long getting them even to like acknowledge that they liked each other, that the fact that now that they have sort of kind of acted on it, like we still have to drag it out after that, just feels like really we have to do this on both sides. Like it feels a little unnecessary, like especially because the show is ending. So why not just like let this go forward and let them be happy for a little while, and then that just moves into the background of all the other stories. I just don't think it's necessary, even though I like support them.
I think Allegra is just funny the way she gets awkward. Like she was just kind of like when they came into the Starlight, he was just like, oh, okay, you guys go do your thing. I thought that was just cute. No, I hoping by the end of this Red Death storyline, they are closer finally. That maybe like they will come over this so that because we can because I don't want to spend 13 episodes of them being like I don't know if I want that, but let's go make out whatever. So and it was cute when Kyo was like, are you guys not friends anymore? And Jess was like, no, we are definitely friends. And I kind of accidentally like said out loud to myself, with benefits question mark. I guess he sounded just so like he just sounded like so like, yeah, we're totally still friends. And I'm like, where are you going with this? Yeah, I'm hoping that again this was probably I mean like, okay, we're trying to set up another ship in the show. It's perfectly fine. But I think by the time we get to episode 5, they need to have wrapped that up so that they can because I would like to see a Schlegel date or something like that, and before the season is over. Like I don't need them to go to get to the series and kind of be like, oh my God, Chester, I love you. No, wait, hold on. Oh my God, Chuck, I love you. Oh my God, Allegra, I love you too. And then whatever. Yeah, I agree. Because if you're gonna do a Allegra impression, you can't say Chester. It's Chuck.
It was interesting with the plants too as well. I was like, when what's
Kesha?
yeah, I was like, Kesha meet Bob, or what? I think was it Bob? And she's like,
Yeah, Bob.
She just gave what's Caitlin's new name? What's her name again?
Keon.
She gave the plant and like are y'all talking about that yet? Because I just want to talk about that one.
Okay, let's do that. Lacy, it's your corner now because
welcome to Keon Corner.
I didn't get to say what I thought about Chalegra. What is this? Why have I been? It's okay. I just have to say yes, just me, only me on this screen. Or that's actually Chaonu for everyone who does not know. Please watch Island on Prime Video. It's very good. He is a sexual exorcist priest.
Stop
okay. Anyway, so back to Chalegra. My issue is I just don't believe her problem. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that she's scared to be with him because everyone she loves dies or whatever. Because, like, you're still here every day with Team Flash, all of whom could die at any given moment. And they're all your friends and you love them all. So what is wrong? Like, if you kiss Chester, is he more likely to die? How many people that you kiss have died? Like, I don't see why that's the make or break situation of it. And also the way she treats him is so mean. Like, it's not like they're friends. It's not like, God, you're my friend and I don't want to lose you. It's like, it was gross kissing you and I don't want to do it again. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't reconcile the behavior. And that's my issue with it. If it was more like Barry and Iris in season 1, where you can see that she's just scared, like she puts him first, but doesn't want to cross that line, that'd be one thing. But instead, she's crossing the line every single time and then being like, wait, why did I do that? So sorry, bye.
Mads the chat goes, Allegra thinks she's got the kiss of death.
Apparently.
Oh my god.
Right. Now please talk about Keon.
Yes.
Keon
Lacy.
Corner. Oh wow. Like I wish I had a little banner that was like Keon Corner. Because I missed last week's discussion, so I did not just get to share my feels on this Caitlyn and Keon situation. And I meant to remember. Oh, look at them. Like, see, joy was possible once. But okay. So
I can't.
this goes back to the conversation we were having a little bit earlier about choices that have been made in this final run of episodes and the way that we are condensing or not condensing stories. Like, I really want to know like what the version of this was. I really want to do two things. What the version of this was where they got a whole season, like how this played out, or what the version of this was where season 8, where the last finale was the end of the show. Because I'm sorry, if the show had ended with Keon walking out of that cryo chamber being like, JK, Caitlyn's dead, I'm like a new person, show's ending forever, bye, I would have literally like lit something on fire. I don't know, like I think we all know that Caitlyn is not really gone forever, because I just cannot imagine the show suddenly deciding to end forever by killing off one of its OG team characters. Like, that's crazy. Obviously, they're going to bring Caitlyn back somehow. And probably Frost too at this point, who can even say? But it's going to be like so annoying, because then Caitlyn will not have had like a real final story to close out the show. So I'm pissed about that. And I really feel bad, because I think the Keon character is very sweet and kind of interesting in the sense that like she is a lot lighter than poor Caitlyn and her like life of pain and suffering has been in recent seasons. So it's good to see, you know, Danielle Panabaker get the chance to play a different kind of character and to get to do different things than she's been able to do on screen the past few seasons. But I like do not know who behind the scenes at the show, sorry Eric if you hear this, you know I love you, but like what the hell, like thought that what we wanted to see for this character in the final episodes of the show ever were her turning into a completely like random stranger that we don't know anything about. Like, I am so over it. Like, just write Caitlyn off. Like, just like let us be free. Like, this is, it's really annoying. I feel bad because, like I said, I think the Keogh character is actually very sweet. I think she serves an interesting position on the team right now, in the sense that like she is a blank slate to hear about all their problems and kind of give real honest feedback that a lot of the other characters are not really in a position to do. But also, like, who asked for this? No one asked for this. And I just don't know I don't know. Like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know why we had to spend a whole episode on the backstory for a new Snow Sister when we could have used either of the Snow Sisters that we already had and knew. And I just can't believe that like this is like the best we could do for wrapping up Caitlyn Snow's time on the show. Keon Corner out.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't know if you heard last week's episode, Lazy. I almost called you Caitlyn again. I'm sorry. So Kemberlie, here's the thing. Apparently, I don't know the name of my own co-host. I keep calling Breeze Jenna. Sometimes I call Toddy Iris, and I call Lazy Caitlyn. Again, it's like their names are literally standing on screen for me, so I don't know how I managed to do that.
It makes sense, but also feels disrespectful to Breeze. It's like saying she's invisible.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, thank you. I'm the invisible.
I will-
Or possibly,
I will
a
remove.
toddler. I don't.
I mean, I'm definitely at least like 6 years old by now.
Yeah, no, but what I was gonna say, and there you go, mind the gap, Freudian slip. But that means that I associate all these characters with these three specific people in my life, and I'm like, why would I associate Jenna with Breeze? Does that
Because
make
I'm the
me
only one who cares about Jenna,
You are
including her
literally
parents.
like this. You know, like from Harry Potter. You're like the secret keeper. You're like the person who remembers that Jenna exists. And as long as you remember her, she can't ever be truly gone.
Yeah, I knew Rachel goes. Does that make you Barry? I mean, I wish I was the Barry of the Flash. I think I'm more of the the Walmart version of Cisco. Because I could never live. Oh, she's like, yeah, you are the Walmart version of Cisco. No, but I mean, I would love to be Barry. I don't think I could ever live up to his grace. I could never live up to Cisco's grace either. You know what? I'm HR. HR Wells with the drumsticks. I'm the annoying one. Whoops. But what I will say is that last week I said I feel like this was something. The Keon thing was supposed to be like, because we knew Eric had plans for season 9 and season 10. I wonder if the Keon thing was going to cross into season 10, and then they got the call that you're getting 13 episodes. This is your final season, and boom. So it's like, I think they rolled us up into a corner with this. But just take something positive away from this, because I said what I had to say about the whole Keon situation last week. I think she's really enjoyable. I've seen a lot of people like Mad goes in the chat. Keon is giving me very much of Daniel's character from Sky High. For people who, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people in the chat have seen that movie. It's a very popular Disney Channel movie, and she has powers there too. Lacy, wait, for someone who was a big Daniel Patrick fan, did you ever see Sky High?
Oh yeah, I agree that this does feel kind of like her character there. I mean,
Yeah,
I actually do really like that she actually feel like the character feels a lot lighter, probably because she hasn't had like so much death and evil and loss in her life. So that's like a nice change. But also there are like how many episodes left now? I don't have time for this.
I understand. I mean, I think that at least like she's funny, she's enjoyable. She doesn't know about who Kesha is. That was hilarious to me, and I'm like, Kesha with a dollar sign or Kesha with an S? Keon. I just would have loved to see her reaction if Chester said like, "How do you spell Kesha?" and she goes, Kesha. No. In our world, we do it with
Dollar
the dollar sign.
sign.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't have
Does
anything
Does Keon even know what money is yet? I guess somebody probably had to buy her drink at the club.
Be like, this is money.
Yeah.
Real fast.
She's like, you take paper, you take trees and you make them into green paper.
Literally.
That's literally gonna be her. Like, and when she was like, "Are we underground?" and I had to be like, "Well, are they underground?" Because I don't know which floor they are on when they're at Star Labs. So like, she had to like, she made me think like, we've been to this set for 9 years now. How can I not know if they're underground or from the top floor? But I like Keon. It's like, listen, obviously Kayla's gonna come back at some point. But it is kind of fun to see Daniel Pannenberger getting to have less angst this season.
I will also say that I thought the clip-ins looked a little better this week, styled that way. So good job to
they're evolving.
hair
They're evolving.
stylist.
You know what's hilarious is Danielle put like a video of herself, like a time lapse of herself in the makeup chair getting those extensions put in, and I'm like, how are these possibly taking this long? Because it was like some time, and I'm like, I just don't believe that they're putting this much effort into it.
New Rachel goes, her character in that movie is like a nice poison ivy.
A nice poison ivy.
That's what Keon reminded me of a little bit with the whole plant thing.
Oh, with the plant thing, yeah. I don't know. I can't figure out what her like powers are supposed to be, because clearly she's gonna have powers. Like maybe she'll be like ice poison ivy or something.
Mine again goes, oh, Sky High before Disney cannibalized Marvel. Wow. I mean, he's not entirely. Liv says, Andy remembering Jenna is like claps for Tinkerbell, LMAO.
Ha 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 ha. Love it.
No, Kiara, I could never be Joe. Because I couldn't forget Iris the way he does. But
Oh,
I'm
snap.
sorry. I just realized I don't think they've even had a scene this season so far, like where they're actually like just talking to each other. But hopefully in the next coming episodes they do well. But overall, I really love this episode. This was a step up. I mean we gotta talk about the Red Death reveal because like I mean listen, I crapped myself when she takes off the helmet and she goes, I am vengeance. And I'm like, I'm like,
Yes.
listen, because I know there's gonna be some racist fanboys being like, oh my god, they're ripping off Kevin Conroy and Robert Pattinson. I'm like, F you and your mothers and your fathers and everything, because I love that Javicia doesn't get to say it because she never got to say it on Batwoman. And the gray hair is still kind of making me wonder, like, what happened here? Because we learned in this episode that our Ryan Wilder has gone missing for weeks, and that the rogues are being they're being connected through Wayne Enterprises tech. So
I know Luke Fox shout out. We love that.
we do love that. Kemberlie, were you a big Batwoman fan, and how are you feeling about what we learned in this episode about Red Death and the whereabouts of Ryan Wilder?
I was a big Bat fan. I watched all the season 1, 2, and 3. I actually liked it. I thought that it was kind of strange that they were like, yeah, Batwoman went missing. Like she was missing. So I was like, well, maybe it would have been cool. Like, you know, we had a scene or something like Luke calling, you know, maybe burying them because like she went missing, trying to figure out, you know, if they needed help. But yeah, it was cool just to see Jalicia just be that person. But I didn't understand the gray part, like what you were saying. Like I didn't understand that part. I guess that was part of like her death, the Red Death stuff going on. Like she had the hair unless they made it
I like you think she died and she came back and like
like she may
I
have
had a-
died.
Very interesting.
I mean, when the
could've
body,
died.
like, isn't that a thing? Like, when people get sick, like, if they are under their bodies under a lot of stress, they can get, like, a gray streak. I feel like that's, like, a real thing. So, if she, like, when her body was under all that trauma from absorbing the negative speed force or whatever.
Kiara, that is mean. Cruella de Vil could never look as amazing as Javicia Leslie. That is mean. What's up with the Cruella de Vil hair? I thought it was more like a nod to like Jason Todd, because in the comics, Jason Todd, like after he comes back from the dead, he in some versions, including Gotham Knights, the video game, he has like a gray stray of hair. So but I hadn't thought about that maybe Red Death has died and come back. That's a good theory, Kemberlie. I hadn't thought about it because I was like, oh, this is visually pretty cool, but I wasn't sure what it was for. But this it's my canon now. Kemberlie has made this canon for me in my head. Lacy, I know you. I feel like I keep asking this every time we talk about Batwoman. Like, I know you've seen bits of Batwoman. So, what did you think about these reveals, and how cool was it to hear her say, "I am vengeance"?
I am excited that Javicia still gets to do some stuff in the Arrowverse for as long as it lasts over the next few weeks. Just because I feel like that show could have gone on and it didn't. But I guess I could say that about literally like every Arrowverse show now. But I thought I truly like. I think part of the reason that I'm so annoyed that we haven't gotten any like real Red Death backstory is that I have literally no idea what's going on with this character. I'm assuming it has to be a different Ryan than the Ryan that's disappeared, and not like our Ryan who's suddenly like gone crazy and acquired new powers somewhere. But how? where's the other one? I just have a lot of questions, and I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of questions that I don't know that are going to be answered to my satisfaction in 2 episodes. But I'm really excited that now, after weeks of us all kind of knowing but not knowing, or well, we all knew, but like it wasn't official. Now it's like official. Let's go.
Toddy, how was it seeing one of our favorite girls, one of our favorite ladies with gumption back on screen?
It was great, but I'm also very confused because I definitely thought it was going to be like a Ryan Wilder from another world or a Batwoman from another world. So I was like, wait, what? It's from this world? What's happening? But someone just said Sci-Fi Gene, very wisely in their Sci-Fi Gene world, said, I think she's possessed by her mysterious speedster half and not in direct control of herself, which would make sense because I don't feel like it would be fair to mess with Batwoman's story by having our Ryan actually have become in any way the Red Death. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for her to either be possessed or maybe replaced by it, right? Like if she's been kidnapped, if you will, by her other like alternate self, and that alternate self is now running around as Ryan, would be one thing. So yeah, but otherwise, very iconic sleigh, and I'm all for it. Just for 1 second, I want to go back to the Keon thing because I guess Andy just doesn't feel like I have opinions this episode, and I want to say I love that again. I love Cha Eun-woo of the K-pop group Astro.
Oh my god!
Anyway,
she does this every week, Kemberlie. She does like it's either K-pop or K-dramas.
He does both. He does a K everything. Korean ambassador for Dior. Okay.
Wait, I've seen him before. I actually watch K-pops.
So. Yes. Okay. So Keon. Yes, the other K. I was really annoyed last episode. I also wasn't here, Lacy, so I did not get to vent with you that I was just like, why does no one care that Caitlin is dead? This is like the worst possible way to write off such an important character. Like Mark actually has Frost caring about Frost, and no one's like, I'm so sad about Caitlin. I was like, what is this?
Oh my God, wait, you just reminded me that I forgot how they all voted. And they were like, I guess I was mean to Frost at one time, so Caitlin can just be dead.
Yes! Yeah. That was so stupid. Okay, so anyway, so I was so mad last week, but this week, because I'm pretending like it didn't happen. So in an isolated event of this one episode, Keon was fun. I definitely felt the sky high vibes from her, and I love how she's just like one with the plants and comparing Allegra to daffodils and whatever. So, you go on with your bad self, Danielle, just having a great time. Love that for her. Can't wait for Caitlin to come back though, because otherwise, what's the point? So there you go.
I hope somebody tells her, hey, everybody was like, I guess she could just stay dead.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
But it's okay, because she'll be like, I also wanted to bring Frost back, so you were right.
I mean, God knows that is probably exactly what would happen. Like, 100%. But
anyway, what was the actual question next? I guess it's it. Yes, now I'm done. I stopped speaking.
Red Death.
Yes, also iconic sleigh. Yes, like I said that. Okay, so we love.
That outfit does look great, though. That costume is banging.
No. Again, I just think it's so funny that all the man babies are out there being like, they made Red Death a woman. Listen, it wouldn't have made sense to make it Bruce because we have no connection to Bruce.
Yeah. Oh, Mads, this is exactly what I want, though. I want what Mads said. A version of Ryan that lost Sophie and went evil like Savitar. Because that is like essentially Red Death in the, Metal in the Knights.
Yeah.
Except it's Batman. So I would love that one version of it.
Yeah. I'm happy for Javija because I feel CW did her very dirty. Like she had to come in season 2 and take all the, she took a lot of heat because she's like, oh my God, you're replacing Kate Kane. We're like, it's not Javija's fault that Ruby Rose is problematic. And then season 3 was amazing, and then the show got canceled. If you were an African American or an Afro Latina in a bad suit last year, it was not a good year for you. Both Batgirl and Batwoman were canceled. Just happened to have women of color in those suits.
Not wrong.
I mean, we know that it's not just for financial reasons or whatever. Yeah, but I thought it was a really good episode. I think it was a stronger installment from last week, and I think a lot. I do think a lot of things move forward in this week's episode. I always love myself some good rogues, and again, I'm gonna give I'm Vengeance till till the end of days. But are we ready for some listener feedback, Lacy?
I love listener feedback. I'm going to start with Twitter, or I will once the doc lets me read the tweets. Thank you. We had some good tweets this week. At Steve Chung 1968 says, "What stood out to me were the interactions between Goldface, Pied Piper, the Hotness, and Chilblain. Seeing the rogues working together as a reluctant team and fighting among themselves is all I ever wanted." At Swaggy Fan 0 says, "Have yet to see Ep 3, but Ep 2 was seriously disappointing. Kill Snow to bring Caitlin or Fuss back? They vote? Team Flash lost their moral compass. Snow was a human being. That was ugly and out of character for them. This final season is giving me bad jitters." At Small Lore 2 said, "I enjoyed the West Allen scenes, but they've been dragging this pregnancy storyline for way too long, and it's tiring and kind of annoying now." Chester Allegra, no comment. Mark betraying Barry, didn't see that coming. Red Death, I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of Batwoman. I've never watched it. And RC Fury says, "Thought it was definitely a step up from last week. I just wasn't a fan of the Disney Channel-esque comedy or the Chester Allegra romance. I'm tired of this subplot being forced down our throats." Oh, poor Allegra.
Porto Allegra. From Facebook and Instagram, we have first from John Patrick Van Pal say, "Hey everyone, it's Flash Podcast. I thought this week's episode of Flash was fun and enjoyable. I did find after the Rogue Squad decided to help Team Flash, I thought it was a little low for Barry Allen. The Flash should listen to what the Rogue Squad felt, and I don't know where Barry was thinking that the Rogue Squad was going to help for free. And thank goodness he did listen and give everyone their cut." And thank God that was so funny when he was like negotiating, like, you get this, you get this, and you get this, and you get this.
I mean, not everybody gets their giant apartments for apparently going to work one day a month, Barry.
Lacy. He goes to work 2 times a month.
Yeah.
My question this week, since they were trying to get help from Gotham and from Batwoman who was missing, do you think Batwoman will ever be found and make a guest appearance in the final season of The Flash? Well, I mean, if you know, you know. I think there's a very good chance you will see Batwoman this season on The Flash. John, maybe just Google Batwoman The Flash season 9 and you will find some happy answers. I'm not trying to be mean, John. It's just, you know. I think you will see Batwoman this season. At Stamper_Prince says, "Absolutely terrible. He escaped the cell in season 4, but needs help from people he obviously can't trust. And also, Reversa could have stalled his power too, but he didn't." I don't. Okay, the cell thing. I don't know what he like. This was just a rant, I think. Okay, first of all, the cell in season 4. Okay, but the thing with the cell, what was happening here was that there were 4 generators that would dampen all the powers. That's why he needed 4 separate people so he could get in, so he could use his powers, get the thing they need to steal, and get out. So, Stamp, I think you need to watch the episode one more time. At Say Batwoman, there you go. Hashtag Say Batwoman. Our Bat was beautiful, even in all her anger. She's leveling up this season.
What's going on in here on this day?
This is me right now. She's leveling up this season with her mischief for sure. And the Gotham time was a nice surprise. Hashtag Red Death. Hashtag Batwoman. Hashtag Save Batwoman. And All About Wonka, that's a funny name. It was amazing and full of suspense. And at Arrow_OTA_Authenticity says, "The Flash episode was fine. Like last week's episode, a little better. Barry hasn't been anything for 2 episodes. Always a plus. Hasn't been anything for 2 episodes. Hasn't done anything.
What?
Yeah, guys, listen. Okay, let me just address this. When you guys send your listener feedback, just double check one more time before you send it, because sometimes there's like words missing, and like I think that there's some grammatical like confusion. So like, we want to understand what you're saying. I think she's meaning like Barry hasn't been anything bad for 2 episodes. That's always a plus. Red Death looks very good so far, but that last line was iffy. Javisha is a solid actress, but the delivery of the line wasn't good. I think moderating her voice and making her eyes glow red would have elevated the scene, but looking forward for more Red Death. P.S. I hope Red Death isn't just reversed by corrupting Earth Prime Ryan. Yeah, I don't think Eobard is that fancy that he could do that. As extra CT says, amazing. Every last bit of it was fire. And Michael Lose 6 says, I love it. I'm excited for the next episode. And now for the other side, for our other rogues team, Britiana, take it away.
Oh, I love that. That sounds kind of like a wonderful ship name. Who wants to read what?
I can read the first one. Let
right.
me know if I break up, since my internet hates StreamYard for some reason.
All right.
This is from Mads. She says, hi y'all, long time watcher, first time emailer. Yay, we love first time emailers.
And we also saw you in the chat, so we love that.
I thought I said she, I don't know what their pronouns are, so I shouldn't assume she. So Mads. They said, I thought the episode was decent. Felt like some of the stuff with the rogues was dragging a bit, but overall I actually enjoyed their dynamic, and it was nice little comedic relief before getting into the serious stuff. Chilblain continues to piss me off, only this time it's for good reason, and not just because I think he's annoying. It's also hitting me that he's a series regular now, so he'll be sticking around until the bitter end, and I'm already not looking forward to the redemption arc he's inevitably going to have. Well, who knows? They could always kill him off. Maybe they will not redeem him. I actually don't mind Kyun, but her storyline just seems silly and honestly unnecessary. Not really sure why we needed to kill off one of the few remaining Ochi characters and replace her with a brand new one in the final season. But anyways, need Allegra to get over herself and just talk to Porchester. No wonder it took them like 10 years to get together in reverse Flashpoint. Now onto Barry and Iris.
Wow.
The cooking class scene was really cute, and I need Candace to speak French more often for science, of course. I absolutely loved the West Allen pep talk scene. It was nice to finally see Iris get to express her feelings and concern while Barry simply listens and offers support. Most of their pep talks tend to either be interrupted or they result in Iris' feelings being pushed to the side while Barry's takes precedence. So this was a nice change. Also loved that it didn't feel like some made-up issue to be used as a plot device so that a character can have an aha moment mid-pep talk that leads to them solving whatever issue is going on with the meta of the week. It felt very organic, like a real married couple discussion. Thought it was very well written and will go down as one of my favorite West Allen scenes ever. On a final note, loved finally getting to see Javisha on my screen. Very intrigued by the Red Death storyline and whatever is going on with Ryan. Less intrigued by the description of episode 5, implying that Cecile is going to be key to stopping Red Death, but I digress. I have not seen that description, so I'm not sure what they're referencing. Minor grievances aside, I'm enjoying the tone of the season so far, and I'm simultaneously looking forward to the rest of the episodes while also dreading that the end of the show is getting closer and closer. Thanks for all you guys do.
Yay!
I'm trying. Okay, so wait, I haven't read the description yet for 5. I think I just briefly saw it. I mean, Cecile's got to do something, because, she ain't working this season.
She's gonna do the thing. So.
The thing, I feel. I don't know what this says, but, not go to work, not feeding baby Jenna, and I have nothing against that Nicolette. I just needed to be on the record. I have nothing against her. But it's just, y'all, what was she doing in this episode? I think she had one line. That was it.
She had 2 lines.
She had 2? Well, then you're a bigger fan than I am. Because I don't remember.
I'm not big of a fan of her. So.
All right, what's our next listener feedback?
We have Liv, who says, "Hi, Flash Podcast. As usual, a lot of thoughts. LOL. To me, this episode was slightly better than last week, but as I cautiously predicted, we have the same issues we've been having for years, which is the villain plot pacing." Exactly, my friend. The episode made me realize 80% of the excitement I have for Red Death is my knowledge of Travis's involvement. Yep, more than what we've actually been given. Similarly, I imagine some fans who've been asking for the Red Death for years feel the same way. But if I take those factors out, Red Death barely has any stakes, and most of what we know about her is not actually story-driven in universe. We know about the negative speed force and the cosmic treadmill, and that's it. LOL. And now we have only 2 episodes to wrap up her motivations, end goal, fights, and defeat. The time we took to get here, with the Rogue's involvement and the team working on the mystery, would have worked if we had more time for her arc. But with this structure, it feels rushed because the interest is hinging on what we already know about the arc as comic fans and Davicia's performance. All the previous villains that we liked were good because they weren't just threatening in theory or by proxy, but by what they were actually doing. Fighting and escaping Barry, wreaking havoc on his life, on the city. Meanwhile, all of Red Death's work has been by other people. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the Rogues in the moment and have always loved Hartley's snarky ass. Yes. But at this point, it's more their story than Red Death's. Then add on the fact that we're still going to get interlude episodes later, it feels poorly organized. Maybe the Crisis Remix Rogues should have been saved for those interludes as whatever the team and guest stars have to deal with when they show up instead of dominating this plot. Now for everything else. I'm continuing to enjoy West Allen's chemistry and their investigating together, continuing to prove that they don't have to be the focus of the episode to exist and participate. There are a couple scenes accumulated to maybe only 3 or 4 minutes, but didn't take away from the episode, and supported their characterization of married best friends who could contribute separately and together. Cough, which is what we've been trying to tell folk all along. Exactly, yes. Our minds. But Childies Rogues, first of all, not buying the Barry doesn't trust us argument. Like, y'all wasn't just about to bruck up Star Labs with a fight over who gets to keep or sell the device, and then threatened to do just what you want 2 seconds ago. One of you only just got out of jail for ratting on after ratting on your girl. Yes, exactly. Another literally just had a whole episode about working behind the team's back and accidentally deleting an original team member, and then reverse Uno carding your association with the team again after not getting what you want. Be for real. But also, Barry should know by now that not everyone is selfless hero material, and that's okay. People have bills, like Mr. Hot Stuff, kids with college tuition. They're hungry, and they're all risking going to jail for this. You're the only one with a CCPD captain to hide behind if needed. That's very true. Paying them is the least that you could do. Exactly. Paid labor. Come on now. He's gotten used to not having to pay the Star Labs people. That's why he thinks he can just get away with it. Insert Denzel Washington. I'm leaving here with something clip. And Barry, babe, we need to put you in a self-defense class, or maybe borrow Iris's boxing gloves.
Yep.
Ask wifey for some sessions, because how are you gonna let Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch? Oh my God, son, he's so quick like that. As often as he loses his speed, you'd think he'd start working on some backup skills. Bless his heart. He's a one-trick pony. We got to fix that before the end of the season. Which brings me to Mr. Refrigerator, you raggedy bitch. You tired of you. Red Death team clowning him. They're so real for that. Exactly. Thank you, Liv. That's exactly how I felt. I was like, get this man out of my sight. Still shaking my head at the choice to switch at birth Caitlin for great value Misty Day. I guess their message is Caitlin has to learn her lesson.
I mean, that's not wrong. It's not wrong, but that's cold.
Switch at birth.
Caitlin has to learn her lesson by being locked deep inside her own brain for a while. Did they tell Carla yet? Oh my God. When Carla was not going to appear in the episode,
oh my God,
no one told her. My God, you're so right. You're so right for this. Speak your truth. Imagine if she makes an appearance and the Greenpeace Guru gets a Captain Phillips moment. Look at me. I'm your daughter now. I still maintain that if we wanted to do this, it should have happened seasons ago instead of now. But I'll also still wait for whatever full circle they're going to hopefully make. Yeah, I agree. The next 2-parter better step its cookies up, because right now it's giving the rushed Godspeed. You have not lied. No lies were detected. Would you like to take Electra, Breeze?
Hold on. I just need another second for great value Misty Day. That was just
a moment of silence.
Just whoo, that was just
And
wow.
this is how I felt when Toddy reads emails.
Tatiana is amazing.
Please, I like flubbed like 16 lines. I'm so sorry, Liv. I tried.
Tatiana is amazing.
We have more Toddy.
How you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with the world.
Tatiana is amazing.
Why? Oh, because he's talking about Tatiana Maslany. Okay, my God. Why did you? I was like, wait a second. What? When did this happen?
Liv says Andy asked for more nicknames, so I approve.
I love that.
Great value, Miss
Wait,
Liv came through.
wait. Can we get nicknames, Liv?
Oh, I don't know if I'm
That-
scared
yeah,
now.
that
I don't know if I
scares
want
me.
those nicknames.
I don't want to know.
Okay, Electra's email.
Yeah, so Electra writes in, "Hi, Flash Podcast team. Here are my thoughts on Rogues of War. I love that Iris is speaking French and actually doing investigative stuff this episode. The Chester Allegra thing is annoying. Not as annoying as Mark's very existence, mind you.
I would know that you're breathing, Mark.
At this point, what villains don't know Barry is a Flash? Why couldn't Barry move fast enough to knock the bad rogues out like Red Death knocked him out and the good rogues out? It's like Barry forgets he can move faster than the speed of sound sometimes. I am vengeance. Javisha killed that line. Is this an older, possibly future Ryan? It seems she had some gray hair. Perhaps she kidnapped, hid away present day Ryan because she's the only one who could stop her. Thanks for reading."
Oh, she's
That was
the
very
one who
beautiful.
stopped her.
All right. Now I will read. Why is there just like awkward silence? I'm going to read.
Awkward. You don't want awkward silence? Hold on, I can fix that.
Tatiana is amazing.
Okay.
You
Time for
could.
me.
You keep using that clip.
Time.
No, we use. Listen, since we moved to StreamYard, Kemberlie. This is why you should do your podcast on StreamYard. We just play clips whenever I feel like I want to put in a meme or something.
He says we as if
Yes,
any of
as
us
if
have
any
a
of us have a
choice
choice
in these
in the
clips.
I mean, we as in me and my 500 personalities.
Exactly. There you go.
You
There
know,
you go.
I have Keon with a C.
Okay. All right. Let me read Levy. Another pretty good episode, but there were a lot of contrived plot lines. West Allen were amazing again. The heart-to-heart in the Speed Lab was everything. It was a perfect parallel to 501 when they sat in the very same spot talking about being parents in the future. Oh, I love that. Your mind. Ugh, it's a mastermind. I also loved seeing Barry and Iris as strong leaders, both working on the problem from different angles. They work so well together and then hold their own as individuals. Who says you can't have your cake and eat it too? Side note, why is Barry going by Officer Allen when he is the director of CSI and not a patrol cop? Are we going to see him in his new role? I know there's a lot going on, but even if we got to see him delegating tasks to people at the crime scene, that would have been enough. And once he figured out they were building a cosmic treadmill, why didn't he realize a speedster was behind it? So true. Who else is going to use a cosmic treadmill? I'm pretty sure speedsters are the only ones who can use the treadmill to time travel. The rogues team up was a little too convenient. They had the exact powers to disable the dampener. Also, all these rogues so easily walked up to a supposedly top secret military facility. I would have liked General Eiling to catch them in the act. That being said,
That was a nice tie back.
That being said, Rogue episodes used to be an annual event, and it was great to have something like that again. Andy was amazing once again. I definitely thought that that's meant our Andy, and I was like, so true, so true.
I'm never.
True. Yeah, Harley Rathaway, Andy Mantis is amazing. I'm glad that we are seeing more of Pied Piper. Mark's betrayal was not surprising. His character is unbearable. He wants to resurrect his dead girlfriend by experimenting on Amnesia Caitlin, sorry, Keon, against her will. If they really needed cold powers, they could have taken his bracelets or used a cold gun like Snart's. Also, Barry could have swiped the case from Mark and hidden it away someplace and come back before they even blinked. The show forgets how fast he is when it suits them. I think Red Death is a great return to the ominous villains like Zoom and Reverse Flash, and the story feels like they're going down the Savitar route. Oh my god, everyone feels the Savitar feels with an evil future Batwoman. I can't wait to see what Javicia does with the character, but I wonder why no one alerted Iris and Team Flash when Ryan went missing. Last thing, why isn't Allegra avoiding Chester by going to work at her actual job?
So true, bestie. So true.
That's true.
If she has to be at Star Labs, can't she actually use her powers? Maybe be a part of the heist? I liked Allegra and Keon's scene, but they are giving Danielle the strangest dialogue. Despite all my nitpicking, I did enjoy the episode because it truly felt like The Flash. There are only so many episodes left, so it's great to see it getting back to its roots. Plot holes and all. Till next week. Cheers, Levy. Thank you,
let's
thank you.
let's check in the chat what people are saying before we.
Run away from the pain.
Crazy
Crazy Jane.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, huh? And I'm like, because I've always said Jane now on Doom Patrol for the last couple of weeks. So, Liv is gonna cook. She's gonna cook us some nicknames. Sky, it's so good to see you. By the way, I didn't want to miss you. Sky is amazing. I agree with Electra. Would love to see Clancy Brown on the show again. Yeah.
I love Clancy Brown doing anything.
Yeah, go to if everyone goes to Lacy's Twitter banner, Clancy Brown's let some beautiful words about Lacy. Oh, new Rachel just tweeted. Hold on, because one thing she would do on the Batwoman podcast. Shout out to our squad on the Batwoman podcast. She would tweet memes every week that she would make for based on episodes, and we have one for this episode. Hold on, stay with me. It's a Simpsons meme for everyone who's listening to this. Everyone turns around, say the line, Batwoman, and Javisha goes, "I am vengeance," and the classroom goes, "Yay!"
Cute.
Thank you, new Rachel. It's good to see you as well.
This poor Rachel. New Rachel's been like a decade.
Listen, we have OG Rachel.
I know. I'm just
there
saying.
needs to be a newer Rachel to come along.
Exactly.
Before she's no longer
Can we
new
just
Rachel.
call her like?
But it's not my fault if we don't have any more listeners named Rachel. I don't know how to market to the Rachels. Did anyone go look for Kate when she went missing? I mean, I think they had her declared dead in episode 1 of the second season. So I think that's what they didn't look for.
Someone was looking for
her. Probably her father, who also then left the show. Let's see. Mindegab says Joy Division and 9-inch nails are bands that are decades old, and I'm pretty sure now they count as dad rock. Listen, can we just talk about when Fiddler and Jacko, like, listen, they were a cute ship, okay? They were so good. They were like, "That's my favorite band too," and I'm like, "Come on, girl, just kiss." And she's like, "Gotta bounce," and I'm like, "Oh, girl, come on, don't do this." Daryl is asking a good question. Is Team Flash not being paid? Well, they must be paying something because they must be paying something because they keep freaking showing up at Starlight all the time. Maybe that's why Cecile's not working. He's like, if I just go to Starlight for one day, I will get my paycheck. Kiana says, y'all need to promote these streams more. I only just found out about these streams. I mostly found out because I'm an Andy fan. Well, Andy is pretty amazing. I get unless he means me. I don't know. For anyone if after this episode has streamed, you can go watch my interview with Andy Mientes. It's as he says, Andy's on Andy's.
Love it.
It was yes. I said to him like it's all Andy Nation today, and he's like, Andy's on Andy's. I love it. I'm like, oh my god, stop. I was blushing. You can find the timestamp for when I start blushing. But he was so much fun talking, and also the amazing Richard Hartman, who I didn't know the same day he had just come home from, like, he had just flown home to Vancouver. And like I think he's just like maybe like just arrived in his apartment like 20 minutes before the interview, because he was like showing like, hey, yeah, this is my suitcase. I just came home. Like, oh my god, are you okay? Are you jet lagged? He's like, yeah, it's fine. Like just 2 hours. Kiana says, is Caitlin coming back? Didn't Eric Wallace say no major character deaths this season, or did I interpret the quote incorrectly? So here's what he told me and Toddy. He said that there will be a satisfying conclusion to Daniel Panabaker's arc,
but it may not be what you expect.
Yeah. Lacy, what did he tell you? I forgot what he told you. Lacy?
I was muted. I'm trying to remember what he told me. What did he said? I think he told me there would be a satisfying resolution to the Caitlin story. Or actually, I don't think he said satisfying. I think he said there would be a resolution to it, which you could read it to being like, JK, the resolution is that she's dead. But I just feel like Eric is like secretly such a softie. Like, he is a person who loves rom-coms and happy endings, and I just cannot see him ending the Flash forever with Caitlin like truly dead. I just cannot see it. So I don't
Before we
know if I have
continue,
any like proof of that, but like that is what I feel in my heart.
before we continue, Toddy has to run to her next adventure. So Toddy, wait, you want to close? What? Kemberlie,
It's
I tried to give her a good setup, and
It
she
was a
just
beautiful
cackles.
setup. I'm cackling with glee because it was so great. Continue.
Okay. You can follow her at Miss Illustrator on Twitter, Lacy Gumption. Check out all her amazing interviews at Screen Rant. What K-drama would you like to promote before you go?
Island on Prime Video. Yes. There you go.
Was that it?
Thank you. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay,
Unless you
okay.
want me to tell you about it, but
No. We will do it when the Flash season 9 is over. We will start doing episodes about anything. So we
so
will talk
excited.
about
I'm so ready.
Another subscription service I have to now pay for. But what I would not do for Tatiana, because as we all know,
Tatiana is amazing.
I
So
can't.
true. Tatiana Maslany,
All right.
and I equally amazing.
No, at least Toddy doesn't look weird in a green CGI form.
We don't know yet. I could look exactly the same.
No. Well, Toddy, thank you for joining us as always, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Okay, let me look a few more comments, so then we can all go to bed because I know it's very late here on the East Coast. Let's see. Well, hopefully Caitlin should be back. Andy, did you hear David Zada's quarterly earnings call for WBDD? I didn't know it was today, but honestly, it's like just seeing it being live tweeted is enough for me because yes, he does sound like a robot. I've never heard a CEO with so lackluster enthusiasm. Like, I saw a tweet where he said like he had seen the Flash movie. He's like, I've seen the Flash movie and I liked it. And I can just hear it's like there's no emotion there. There's no glee. There's like maybe he needs to become a Keon, like the Keon version of David Zaslav. Yeah, Cypher Gene is right. Multiple new female heroes were canceled on the CW. Yep. If you're a woman or a woman of color on the CW, don't expect to be treated that well. Or if you're an All-American, and you're a coach, things are not gonna. Sorry, Kemberlie. I'm sorry. I just realized how soon it was.
Not too much. Not too soon. I'm still breathing.
Yeah. It was crazy. Like, I still can't believe that has actually happened. I'm just like, oh no, he's gonna be like, it's just a fake out. It's gonna be fine. He's not actually.
He's gonna wake up and dream.
It was
still wait for that.
Let's see. I keep wondering about that the Flash disgraced me line though. Like, was she exposed or made to think Barry did something and he's innocent a la Armageddon? Says Liv. Oh, what do you guys think about? Like, what do you think the whole Red Dev saying, like the Flash disgraced me and so on? What do you like? Do you think there's a personal vendetta against him?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably from the future, maybe. Like in a future thing, the person could be coming back. Because somehow they look at future stuff in this show. So, and they want to come back and hunt the past. Barry. So
I love when they do time travel on this show. It's because I kind of felt like we weren't allowed to do time travel because Legends of Tomorrow existed. I feel like when Legends of Tomorrow was on, we were never allowed to do time travel. But now we are. Let's see. Okay, some of these comments we've already read. Let me scroll down. Liv says, regarding Caitlin, I think Eric said, wait till the end. Lacy, how's that make you feel?
I mean, not great. like I said, I fully believe that Caitlin will be back by the end of the show and she will not end the series dead. But also, just being alive is not like a satisfying, like, final conclusion to her story. For me, like, woohoo, she's not dead. Like, has she dealt with any of the many, like, things that we've talked ad nauseum on the show before that, like, would be very beneficial for her character growth? Probably not.
Lazy, what if she's hanging out with wanted to force us.
I mean, that would be bad. Although part of me was like, oh my god, if this turns out that like she's passed on so she can be with Ronnie or something, I'll just like throw myself in front of a car.
First of all, don't say it on YouTube because that's dangerous. But secondly, don't throw yourself. No, first of all, don't throw yourself because we don't want you to. We don't want to lose you. But secondly, don't say it on YouTube. I should. I was more
Wow.
concerned about you. I was more concerned about you. I'm sorry.
Anyway, moving back to my thoughts. It is like, I don't know. Like I said, I thought since they, I'm making air quotes, killed her, that's like clearly not permanent. Like, I feel like that's very obvious, but I just feel like it's not. Like, the simple fact of her no longer being dead is not going to be like a satisfying endpoint for her character for me, if that makes sense.
Electrical, maybe the Flash beat her in a race. That would be the petty. That would be the pettiest reason ever. Libby's hi, Libby. Good to see you. I missed the beginning. Did someone mention how CC Media has Lab Break and Beat? I did miss that. Libby also says, I wish they just did one villain this season. No need for 2 graphic novels and interludes. I mean, I understand interludes because that's a way to save. I understand interludes because it does help them save money. Because interludes are usually the kind of not smaller scale because there's still some good interlude stories sometimes, but they just kind of like you can tell they are saving back some money because, especially this season, because David Zaslav just likes to take money from everyone.
But also too, I was like looking at somebody's thing and they were talking about like, you know how like they teased Cobalt Blue like in the last season, like at the end, and I don't know if they scratched it or are we coming back to that because they never brought it up. Like I felt like they could have used that too, like maybe have like 2 villains kind of be in the same episode, and we just kind of see like who Barry takes on each week or something like that, because it would be like, I don't know, 13 episodes of him just kind of like fighting and figuring out things.
All I can say, Miss Kemberlie, is just keep watching. I can't say
okay.
I can't say anything else.
I know.
I know. Lacy's not gonna get this reference, but I get this reference. Electra, she's a new Triplica girl, and we'll split into 3: Caitlin, Frost, and Keon. So, Lacy, in the comics, there's one of the members of the League of Superheroes is literally called Triplica Girl, and she had like you should Google her. She's actually a very fun character, and that would be a fun way for maybe that's who Caitlin can become when she comes back. She becomes Triplica Girl, and that's how we have Frost and Keon still in the picture.
I just want her to at least get her own body. My wants at this point are few. Like, bodily autonomy is all I ask.
Sci-Fi Gene says, I think that Speedster Hat was disgraced. I don't think Batwoman traveled beyond Gotham very often before she became Red Death. Interesting theory. Kiera was asked, what story do you think Iris will break that will give her the Pulitzer? Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe the Red Death thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Breeze, Lacy.
I mean, that's the only thing they've given us for her to cover. So.
I was going to say, well, Supergirl has established that the Pulitzer bar is very low. So.
And normally it helps to have a best friend with an insight. Like, all these people just get Pulitzers because they're actually just superheroes or related to superheroes.
But unlike Kara, Iris actually goes to work. And she leads her own empire. Yeah, like when they ended Supergirl with like her becoming the editor-in-chief or something, I was cackling because I'm like, but wait a minute, this girl never goes to work. And then what does Armageddon say? Oh, Kara is off-world doing something else. Super nepos. No, come on, mind the gap. That's mean. And we will end this with Elektra's final message, which is whatever story Iris breaks to win the Pulitzer will then be erased by the timeline like Kara's story was, even though Kara still claimed to win the Pulitzer. I'm pretty sure Iris will get to keep her Pulitzer. Yeah. I don't think Eric and the writer at this point just like give it a Pulitzer and then just erased it. Like that's not gonna. We know it's a fixed point in time. She is a Pulitzer winning journalist. So, okay, actually no, this is the last one. Matt says in the Matt book, Iris' first Pulitzer was called "Nightmare Under Red Skies" in 2023. So I wonder if that's her Red Death story. Wednesdays, 8/7 Central on the CW. Dare to get renewed on this network. But we're gonna end it there. So first of all, Kemberlie, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you can find your thank you. Tell us where you can find you on social media. Tell them all about your projects, your podcast, and anything else you'd like to promote.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kimberly Love, and then my Instagram is Kimmy from the block. I am an entertainment freelance writer and social media manager. So I work for different platforms right now, but our podcast, like Andy was saying, Andy was one of my first few guests on it. I'm getting back into a little bit as I prepare for different other stuff going on. But yeah, just follow me on those platforms and you can see what else I'm doing too as well.
We'll add links in the description and in the episode show notes. You can go find because Kemberlie is one of my faves. She's amazing at what she does. I was honored to be one of her first guests on the podcast, and she kicks ass. She's a real life Iris with Allen. I almost said Jenna. Wow, Breeze, just go, Breeze.
As always, you can find me on Twitter at BabyJenna. You can listen to me on the Studios podcast, this podcast, read my reviews at telltaletv.com and themarvelreport.com. Keep an eye on that space, especially next week.
And Lacy, not Caitlin, because Lacy is actually alive. Whoops. Where can people find you on social media?
Womp womp. I am Lacy MB on Twitter. That is LACYMB, and I am trying out all of the new Twitter alternative social media apps because God knows how long the Bird app will stick around. So I am basically just Lacy MB everywhere. Come be my friend. Read my Flash coverage and Star Trek reviews on Den of Geek, and check out my other podcast, which is on British Entertainment. It is called Television.
Which you will likely tell her amazing story about meeting Jodie Whittaker, I hope.
We shall see.
What do you mean we shall see? That's the most obvious place to talk about it.
I mean, you have to tune in to find out. I'm not just going to put it here. Duh.
This is how you. Wow, girl, you need to learn a thing or two how to promote your podcast. Like, I'm not saying like reveal it, like the whole story. Just say, do we talk about Gallifrey?
I mean, we are going to talk about Gallifrey 1.
Okay, Gallifrey 1. Okay, there you go. Well, you can find me at Adibite all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Hive, Twitch, YouTube, Vero, at Adibite. Find all my work at Screen Rant. You can also find me as a host of Endless Multiverse here on YouTube at youtube.com/ShaneSawReacts. This week we're taking the week off because I can't say what it is, but next week I'm announcing something very, very big that I want you all to pay attention to. It is a new chapter for my career, and for some people I love working with, and so just check at Adibact for updates on that. I really can't stress enough because that's partially why we're taking Friday off for some final tunings. I can promise you, like, it's not a Pulitzer. I'm not winning a Pulitzer, but it is something very exciting. So keep an eye out on that. Yeah, just check my bio for all my other things. For anyone who's hungry for some Superman Lois thoughts, I've seen the first 2 episodes. You guys can go to Twitter and get a few little teasers there. I don't know if it's gonna make everyone happy, but yeah, it's season 3 getting dark, y'all. That's all I can say. But before we go, we're gonna do the podcast book. So I'm cutting it over to our past but somehow future self. So take it away.
To find exclusive content and new episodes from the Flash Podcast, visit theflashpodcast.com. There you'll also find the latest info about the Flash TV show, movie, and comics.
TFP never strays far, so please find the Flash Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you should ever need us. And we need you to send us listener feedback on any of those platforms after each episode of The Flash. You can send your feels sporadically or wait for the graphic that appears every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, begging you to leave us your comments so we know you love us. XOXO, Gossip Flash.
Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the Flash Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Want to support the Flash Podcast? Leave a review and 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, which helps more Apple Podcast users find the show.
Enjoy what we're doing? Then you should check out the entire DCTV Podcast Network at dctvpodcast.com, where we have amazing shows for The Flash, Superman Lois, all the ongoing and upcoming DC shows on HBO Max, the upcoming DC Studios movies, The Sandman, as well as DCTV After Dark and lots of other fantastic podcasts, all available at dctvpodcast.com. You can follow the network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simply at DCTV Podcast. Last but not least, be sure to subscribe to the network's mega feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts.
DCTV Podcast has its own TeePublic store, where you can get all sorts of fabulous Arrowverse and DCTV merchandise to broadcast your fandom in the real world. Click on the link in the show notes to start shopping and help support the network so we can keep making all these great shows. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DCTV Podcasts and ring the notification bell for up-to-the-minute news about live broadcasts, exclusive interviews, special clips, and lots more.
And because we can never get enough of your beautiful words, you can also email The Flash Podcast at theflashpodcast@gmail.com anytime you want. Use it for longer listener feedback, questions about The Flash and DCTV, miscellaneous thoughts, or fanfic recommendations. We read every email, so don't worry, no Flash fan left behind.
Not to be too prideful, but like I actually really love that I followed a picture of Iris typing for our send our listener feedback. Because I was like, we need to have a cute picture here. I'm like, Iris types. Let me go find a screenshot. That was my proudest slide. So but yeah, guys, it's been a long episode, but as always, it's always so much fun talking about the Flash with you guys. And doing this live, I wish we had done this in season 8. We should have started doing live streams more often in season 8. But we will be here all season. But once again, Kemberlie, you're a delight. We will hope to have you back in the future, even when after the Flash is over. But thank you so much for joining us tonight, and hopefully you get to have an amazing season 9 experience with lots of West Allen payoffs and whatever else you're looking for in the Flash. I was trying to be clever, but I couldn't. But thank you for joining us tonight. Well, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it here. So we'll be back next week at the same time, same bat channel here on the DC Podcast YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Andy B.
I'm Breeze.
And I'm Lacy.
And we'll see you next time on the Flash Podcast. Good night, everybody.